conversations dealing with elephants in the room. What's going on, famo? It's your man DB. Subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new content and new material is coming out. All right. Hopefully you listen to the sister Corners about her relocation, her exodus from America, relocation to Ghana. Also, we did a video about 1984. We broke down a lot of similarities of the novel 1984, part 1 and 2. It was pretty interesting by George Orwell, man. And I'm telling you, he died in 1948, 49. But a lot of stuff he put in that novel 1984 is supposed to be a dystopian fiction. But man, it's got a lot of nonfiction things going on to this day that came to pass. So that's tripped out. Check that out. And also check out New Age, part 1, 2, and 3. If you just get into this video, this is part 4 of a 4-part series on New Age. New Age religions and New Age stuff like that. And so the last thing we had left off on was forbidden knowledge. We believe we can evolve with the right knowledge was the last statement on part 3. We believe Yahweh is hiding something or withholding information from us. That's what a lot of us believe when we try to go outside of the will and the word of God and try to get this forbidden knowledge. We don't believe in Yahuwah, and we believe we came from an alien race who taught us science, knowledge, and religion. If you see a lot of these different on the History Channel, they have different specials, and they have different programs, ancient aliens and stuff like that. And that's what they pretty much believe. We are in a constant pursuit of this lost or forbidden knowledge. Many nations around the globe is waiting for the arrival of a special alien race. And so for the people that's in Buddhism, Hinduism, even though us followers of the way, we're waiting for the return of Yahusha, Hamashiach, for his second coming. So it's just interesting how a lot of different backgrounds and groups are waiting for a special arrival. But I want to look at this. Let's look at this last part. The U.S. have a new military branch, the Space Force. Okay, so this is their logos, United States Space Force. They look like a Star Trek thing right here in the middle. So my questions are these. Questions are simple. And maybe you can just share them in the comments, but you probably can help me out. So we got the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, right? And we, help people around the world, or we go to war with people around the world. My first question is, why do we need a Space Force? Who is coming from space that we think that we need a Space Force to fight? Okay, who can we possibly be encountering, right? The Vatican, Roman Catholic Church in Rome has a telescope called Lucifer, and it stands for Large Binocular Utility Camera Integral Field Intergalactic Research, or something like that. And the acronym is Lucifer. Look it up. I know it's real wild. Or why that's coming up. It's real wild. So my question again, answer this in the chat area of this video. Who is the Vatican looking for? Right? If they're supposed to be the so-called church and they're supposed to be looking for the return of Yahushua HaMashiach, why do you need a powerful telescope? Why does the Vatican need this telescope? Right? Why is it called Lucifer? Right? And they've made other videos and websites that came out and say, hey, we was just joking. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. It doesn't mean Lucifer. Right? Very interesting, though. The name was changed from Lucifer to VAT. Okay, VAT, Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope. Right? That's observatories. I think it's in Arizona. They on a campus in Arizona. All right. So the waiting of Lord Maitreya. Okay, in the 1940s, Alice Bailey, the founder of the Arcane School, an organization of disseminated spiritual teaching suggests that this new Messiah, the Master Maitreya, would appear in the last quarter of the 20th century. If you look like him, he kind of looks like Caesar Borgia from these pictures from their website. That this is the person who they're waiting to come, and it could very well be the Antichrist or a Antichrist. He said many Antichrists will come in the end, or a false prophet. And I think even with the show, the modern day evangelicals, they keep putting the image up of Christ from the picture of the Caesar Borgia. And so it could be a deception, or it could be a great falling away. If you come see a guy that looks like this, that comes on the scene and do signs and lying wonders and miracles, the people from the New Age would think it's Lord Maitreya, but the Christian evangelicals might think it's Yahushua himself. Imam Mahdi. The Muslims believe there's a Messiah-like figure coming to save the world, who from the Antichrist. So the government of Imam Mahdi, right? To those who are in dealing with Islam and stuff, they waiting on him to come, right? Many of the cult believe Nubaru or Planet X is coming, right? This is a planet full of fallen angels, possibly posing as angels of light and enlightened beings with new knowledge, right? So this is during the Sumerian period. They got this on the wall in Samaria and stuff like that, and got these winged angel beings, right? They even selling merch. Nubaru is coming. You know, they selling merch like that on their site. Again, if you seen or if you check out the History Channel, they got a whole History Channel, New Age History Channel things about space aliens coming and different things like that, these different beings coming, and it's a lot of coins, I should say, unturned in world history when they say, man, how did they build these pyramids, man, with the technology they had, man? You know, how do they get these things, and why is it so precise, and why the stones is almost cut perfectly with the technology they had back then, and how is it lining right up with Orion's belt? And so they're really tripping off of that stuff and trying to interpret and read the hieroglyphs and trying to get this knowledge, you know what I mean? Forbidden knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And so it's very, very interesting. So in their pursuit of looking, excuse me, for knowledge, they're coming across different things. The Annunaki, the fallen ones. So it's supposed to have been look up Annunaki. It's supposed a race of giants, a race of spiritual beings or whatever, right? Again, I don't believe in a lot of this stuff, but I mean, some of this stuff is what these fallen angels came as angels of light, and it's very, very, very interesting, man. We are waiting for a close encounter, right? We're waiting for something to come. You know what I mean? And I believe all of the one world religions, the New Age religions, that's coming all together, and they tolerate and accept each other, and they're going to submit to the will of this being, which is the Antichrist. We talked about it in the book of Revelation. It talks about it, and so it's going to be very, very interesting. And they say even the very elect can be deceived. I believe the very elect can be deceived when we're drawn away by our own lust. Look what's going on right now. They're trying to make 45 a Christian or saved so bad, you know what I mean? And they going at all heights, you know what I'm saying? And they've seen in a dream that 45 is like David, and he's going to come drain the cesspool of Washington, and he's going to, do all of these great things, but it has nothing to do per se with the kingdom. It has to do with advancing or sustaining the kingdom of racism, white supremacy. This is my opinion about fascism, racism, xenophobia. Look up these words and different things like that. The bigotry, it's just crazy. The 4 years that 45 been in, it has not been love, peace, unity long suffering, the fruit of the spirit. It's been cantankerous. It's been very, very interesting. But yet they call this man, you know, God's man and God's dude, and God is smiling down on America and all this stuff they like to say. And I'm not anti-American, but it's like people are delusional. You think people that's supposed to be so spiritual, and that's discernment 101. You know, it's very, very crazy how they can make this man force. That's the lust. They're drawn away by their own lust. They want him to be something that he's not. He's not a follower of the way. He's not even Republican. He just hijacked the party, and they just fell for it. Cognitive dissonance. Look that word up. Very, very interesting. But that's not about. This show is not about that. Genesis 2:17. From the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for the day you eat from it you shall surely die. Now you might not surely die and fall over as a natural death, but this is when Adam and Eve was in the garden, and Adam and Eve was like, look, y'all can tend to the garden, y'all can eat whatever in the garden, you can, tend to the garden, name the animals, you can eat from the tree of life, but you cannot eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. For the day you eat of it, you shall surely die. And Hasatan, in the form of a serpent came and gave him another suggestion, like, man, you should not surely die. He know that the day you eat thereof, you're going to be just like God, knowing good from evil. He's hiding some from you. Why wouldn't he want you to eat from that? It must be good. Why would he want you to eat from that? And so they seen it was good for food, and they ate it, and the rest is history. They didn't fall over dead right away, but then their eyes is open, and they went to a whole different realm and a whole other different insight and knowledge that they couldn't understand or comprehend. And see, I'm gonna tell you like this: Yahushua HaMashiach, the Father, is a good shepherd. So when we trust and rest in His finished work, when we trust and rest in His promises, then we don't have to worry about Him hiding stuff from us. He's a good Father. He keeps us away from danger seen and unseen. That's the way I look at it. So if I ask Yahushua something by His way of His Holy Ruach HaKodesh, and I say, hey, God, well, what's going on with this? And sometimes He reveal it. Sometimes He reveal it later. Other times I say, hey, God, what's going on with that? And He won't say nothing about it. I have to rest and trust in that. I don't have to keep going with that. If it's good for me, He want me to have it, then He will reveal it. But that's the type of relationship we need to have with Him, when we trust Him. He's a good Father, right? He keep you away from, babies crawling, and they open those cabinet doors up, and it's underneath the sink, and there's some poison down there, or some knives down there, or something that can hurt you. And you pick the baby up and take him away from there and close it. And it's not like, well, man, you're trying to hide something from the baby. No, I'm the good shepherd, and I'm keeping my baby from harm, hurt, or danger, right? You'll say, I'm keeping my baby from harm, hurt, or danger. I don't want him to cut himself on the sharp things down there, or drink the poison, or play in the poison, or hurt themselves. A good father wouldn't allow that. So our good Father wouldn't allow us to keep us from. He keeps us from all harm, hurt, and danger. Psalm 23, I'm the good shepherd. I lead you beside still waters, right? I lead you beside green pastures, right? He's for the blessing. He's for the promises. He's for a covenant. He's for a relationship with us. So if He say, hey, don't go over there, I don't have to question it. I don't have to do it. And so when people have this good idea, and we say, man, is it a God idea? All right, let me pray about it. Let me meditate on it. Man, why you got to pray about it, man? It's a good idea. It's going to get us 6 figures. It's going to get us 7 figures. It's going to take us okay, but I'm going to waste a lot of time and a lot of money if I operate out of my own strength and out of my own wisdom. So I got to make sure I operate out of the things of Yahushua. Make sure, because if you say it might be a good idea, but He say, nah, don't go with that. That's going to set you back. I got to be good with that. But I am a creature of choice. See what I'm saying? Like I was talking about earlier, the difference between the perfect will and permissive will. I don't want to get into that, so I'm going to get into that later. But it's a difference between the perfect will of Yah and the permissive will. And in this cylinder called time, He gives us a little bit of sovereignty where we can choose. We have the ability to choose. So the perfect will is to walk in His perfect will, seek the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things that should be added unto you. You're walking in the perfect will. But the permissive will mean I'll permit you to do certain things. I'll permit you to rob a bank. right? All of the different ills and wills that's going on the earth is permitted, but it's not all expedient. It's not good for you. It's going to be a high paying consequence behind it that can set you back for life or take you off the planet altogether if you don't make the wise choices, if you don't have the wisdom of Yahweh in your heart. So I don't know why I went there with that, but okay, these are different signs and different that look like the wheel, look like some wings, and these are different things on the wall in Samaria, right, with Hammurabi and the Assyrian kingdom, right? Baphomet. This is one of the Lucifer is trying to come. He's going to come. He's going to come as an angel of light. You know what I mean? Both a male and female. So you got the female breast and male genitalia and the male beard, and these two fingers pointing, meaning as above, so below. And it's just a copying of on earth as it is in heaven. You know what I mean? And look what he's sitting on the world right here. He wants to be God in this world, as it says in Isaiah 14. He said, I will be like the Most High God. I will be like the Most High Yah. He wants to be Yah so bad. And he's looking for worship, and he's looking for agreement. He's looking for covenant with the people of God. We are Imago Dei. Genesis 1:27. We are made in the image and likeness of Yahweh. You feel what I'm saying? But he wants us to follow him. Hasatan. Here's another picture in those Sumerian walls. A winged bird-like creature, different creatures like that. Did these people actually see these beings that that they have on the walls? You know what I mean? You see different mystical looking creatures on the walls of Samaria, Mayans, Incans, Aztecs, Quetzalcoatl, supposed to be a winged dragon thing. Egypt have different beasts and beings. Did they actually see these beings? Did they actually encounter and talk to these beings? You know, all right here, this is on the wall too, and this looked like this was. They said they supposedly had electricity back then. You know, if you look at, so they probably drawn what they lived out. So look, like it's a cord right here, and this look like some kind of electric light bulb or some kind of lighting. You know what I mean? So back then, they might not have been as primitive as we thought they was. You know what I'm saying? They might have more advanced technology than we got today. All right. Again, here are some more things on the wall. This looks like a helicopter, right? I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying what it looks like. There's the tail. There's like some kind of ship, some kind of flying ships. So we don't know if they seen these ships come down, or how can they draw with accuracy some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? If they must have been primitive, Stone Age. Not necessarily, I don't know if it's a Stone Age or not. Don't quote me on that. But it was an earlier age in technology. They didn't, quote unquote, have a lot of the things that we supposedly got today. How do they navigate and have all these different things? Right? So we go down there, we try to get this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding. We try to tap into it. Right? We go down there, we try to read the hieroglyphs, we try to read the writings on the wall. You know what I mean? And it's okay to study that stuff. It's very interesting. But it shouldn't, we got to cast down every imagination that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahweh. And so if it exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, then we got to cast it down. And this spirituality and this knowledge and doing for self and looking to the inner self, you know what I mean? You're gonna be influenced by one of the two realms. You're gonna be influenced by the spirit realm, either Hasatan and the kingdom of darkness, opposing his angels of light, or the Most High Yah and his son Yahushua HaMashiach, who died and shed his blood on the cross. You're gonna be influenced by one of the two, and even the people that's atheists. I met a guy; he was a teacher. Somebody he was an atheist. I'm like, that's cool. He said he don't believe in ghosts, no paranormal activity, none of that. I'm like, so. Basically, this the highest of the land right here. This racism, white supremacy, books, knowledge, going to college and getting all these degrees and certifications. And I'm not against school, you know what I mean? But it has its place. It's set up to let you be able to get money and make money. But you don't worship mammon because it brings you good things like a car or a vehicle or status. We don't clout chase. We chase after Yahweh, not clout and status. He said, what is it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his whole soul? Feel me? Your soul is the most important thing on this planet. And so what is it profit a man to gain the whole world, lose his whole soul? Again, you can study that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But don't let it overtake you to the point where the fallen angel knowledge, because it's about, it could be about, this is what I believe about divide and conquer and colonization. Is if I got all of the information, if I got all of the knowledge, the fallen angel knowledge, I'll be advanced. I'll move in advanced technology, right? And I'll be able to, I'll be in front of all of the other nations. Then I'll be able to control the other nations. And so people do a lot of science and technology, not to enhance technology, but to be in control. You feel what I'm saying? Lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, pride of life. That's what we deal with down here. You know what I mean? John 10:10 said the enemy comes, hostage time comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Yahushua HaMashiach said, I come that you may have life and that more abundantly. So he's coming for the abundant life. He's coming for the abundant. He's coming to bring abundant life now and in the age to come. And so we just got to get back to the basics, man, the grassroots of things. And he said in Revelation, he said, you have all these things going, but you have one thing in problem. You've left your first love, that relationship with me, that covenant relationship with me, that resting in me, that trusting in me, that believing in me. We got to get back to that basic, simple thing. But like I said in the other videos, if you check them out, that's like the age of Pisces, right? That's the old way, devotion. He said, man, that old devotion and all of that belief system. He said, we're going to transcend to a whole new spiritual thing and spiritual way and have some crystals and be led and guided. And we're going to go into these new different ways. But we're really being set back when we dabble in this fallen angel knowledge instead of the word of Yahweh, the spirit of Yahweh, right? He left his spirit here. When you confess your mouth and believe in your heart, Yahushua HaMashiach is the Christ, the Redeemer of all mankind, the last Adam. Then you have a covenant relationship with him, right? And so he left the spirit, he left the writ, the holy writ, and he left us creation, right? The whole creation, all around us. And so that's what we got to get back to. That's what we really got to get back to. Or if we already there, sustain there and grow in grace. Grow in grace means it's going to get taller, it's going to get bigger, it's going to get larger. So we got to grow in grace, not be distracted, lay aside every weight that easily beset us. Some of those weights, my spirit's talking about offense, being offended, being prideful, knowledgeable, know-it-all, many different ways. Rejection, right? Self-soothing, victim mentality, but trust and rest in his finished work. We need to be first more Yah confident, God confident in Yah, and then we can be confident in ourselves. All right? So that's all I want to share with you guys. That fallen angel knowledge piece is very, very interesting. They say it's going to be like the days of Noah, and instead of water destroying the earth, it's going to be fire destroying the earth this time. And we got wars and rumors of wars and stirring up controversy with civil war, and the world, America is split, by design. And then the world is going to be split by design. That's why we at the end of that statue in Daniel, the dream statue, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of the statue of all nations. And we at the end with the feet of iron and the feet of clay. And the feet of it had legs of iron. That was empire, Roman Empire. But the feet of iron and clay is the revived Roman Empire, and I believe the Khazarian nation. Pretty much all of the nations, they're not tight. They're not tight on their plan. They working together. They both got something. That's why they got a little diplomacy. I'm working with you a little bit because you got something I want, or got something I need. You know what I'm saying? Or you hold something. You know what I mean? But even when 45 went in there, his diplomacy game was whack. You know, he talking about Mexico. He talked about North Korea, calling them little rocket man, and talking about China gave us the Kung flu, and talking about Russia, this, that, and the other, and calling Africa, different places in Africa, S-hole countries, and just this diplomacy game was whack, man. And he's supposed to be the man that's going to drain the cesspool and supposed to be a believer in Yahushua Messiah. Again, I don't have a heaven and hell to put him in, but I say you should know him by the fruits. You know what I mean? And his fruit was just like, really? And all these people that's whitewashed, in my opinion, by their brain with that racist white evangelical Christianity, the WASP, and they just falling for it. You feel what I'm saying? And so he's the lesser of two evils because Joe going to do this and Joe going to do that. Yeah. But, man, ain't no dog in this fight, man. Left wing, right wing, same bird. So I'm going to get off of that because I'm going to be going into a whole nother different topic. So Elephant Man Podcast Network, like, subscribe, share. Share with somebody else if it's blessing you. Give me a comment on those words that we looked up, that we want you to look up. And let's discuss, man, those different words, and let's build. All right, in Yahushua HaMashiach's name we pray. Amen. Perfect.